Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome in. We'll be getting started here in a second. Ms. Burton, whenever you are ready, it's over to you.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning and welcome to It's an Expo, Buy Black and Be Inspired. I am Shari Burton, co-chair and moderator of this event that is brought to you by the Chi Omicron Omega chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated and Phenomenal Pearls Educational and Charitable Foundation. It is our pleasure to give you a day to celebrate Black-owned businesses. We have a dynamic keynote session and 2 breakout sessions with 6 speakers who will all be live to answer your questions. As an added treat, we have 35 businesses showcased on our vendor page with many discounts for today's attendees. You do not want to pass up a chance to be inspired by our 4 Seasons meditation page. It is there to lift you up as you navigate the ups and downs of business and your life. Finally, we will close with multiple exciting drawings. We will draw from the businesses showcased. A couple of housekeeping rules for this afternoon or this morning. Please go to the breakout room of your choice. If the room is too crowded, you will be placed into another session. Please visit the vendors and meditation room in between your sessions. The vendor page will be open until tomorrow. Don't miss out on exclusive deals. Stay for the exciting drawing. We will draw from the names of registered vendors. We will give away 5 $500 cash prizes. Now, I'm happy to turn it over to our Expo Chair, Mimi Polidor, to introduce our keynote.
Good morning. I'm so glad everyone here is here this morning. It is my pleasure to introduce our dynamic keynote. Courtney Johnson Rose is the Chief Executive Officer of George E. Johnson Development. It's a full-service real estate firm specializing in development, project management, and brokerage. Courtney obtained her bachelor's degree in business economics from the University of Texas at Austin and earned her master's in the great historic HBCU, Prairie View A&M, in community development. She is currently an adjunct professor there as part of her master's community development program. Courtney is also a graduate of the Texas Association of Realtors Leadership Program, the Graduate Realtor Institute, and she has obtained the Distinguished Certified Commercial and Investment Member designation, as well as the PMP certification for project management. Courtney was featured in the Houston Business Journal inaugural class as one of their top 40 under 40 business leaders in Houston, and by the Houston Association of Realtors as one of their top 20 under 40 real estate professionals. Courtney has been blessed to be featured on the covers of Realtor Magazine, Empower Magazine, Houston Realtor, and Real Estate Executive for her success in business. She is an active member in the community. Courtney serves as chair of the board for the Texas Association of African American Chambers and is first vice president of the National Association of Real Estate Brokers. Courtney is also the past chair of the board for the Greater Houston Black Chamber and a member of Greater Houston Partnership Board of Directors. She is a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, and she is married to Tiba Rose, and they have been blessed with 2 children. I give you our keynote speaker of today, Courtney Johnson Rose. Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Let me just first say how much of a pleasure and an honor it is to be here today. I want to first congratulate the ladies of Alpha Kappa Alpha, the Chi Omicron Omega chapter. Thank you for having me, but most importantly, thank you for having this wonderful event. Your team has been phenomenal to work with, and I truly commend your chapter for pushing forward in the pandemic, for using technology, being cutting edge, and making this event happen. I am wearing my pink. I'm a Delta lady, but I'm wearing my pink and my pearls today in honor of this phenomenal organization and all of the wonderful work that you all do in our communities across the world as a worldwide sorority and a worldwide network. So congratulations to you all, And thank you again for having me here. I truly, truly, truly appreciate it. So this topic that we're going to talk about is so critical. Buy Black and be inspired. Buy Black and be inspired. And I have the awesome task this morning of hopefully adding energy to this amazing program and kicking us off. But I do think that it's going to be an amazing day. So I heard about vendor specials that'll happen today. I've heard about special grant programs for small businesses. This is just amazing. So excited to participate in it. I want to see if I'll be able to share my screen. Let me try that process now, and just give me a thumbs up once you can see it. Thumbs up. Okay, perfect. So we are in an interesting time, as you all know. Many have said that we're coming out of COVID. I don't know whether we're really coming out because COVID is still such a serious disease. If you look at the news and you see how many deaths we're still having, I don't think that we are out of it. But I do think that we are in a state where people are having to work through it and still be productive. It's a wonderful time for entrepreneurship. And we're having to, as the world is back open, businesses having to move. And it's a critical time for us as African Americans. I want to share our first slide, which is on the stats. And the preliminary data is in, and it's startling. So it's anticipated that 41% of Black businesses have failed during COVID. 41%. As it was mentioned in my bio, I chair the Texas Association of African American Chambers. We are a network of 24 chambers across the state, Black chambers in El Paso and Waco and East Texas and everywhere you could think of where there's Black people, we have a Black chamber. And one of the things that we've been tracking over the past 18 months is the effects of COVID. And there has been a tremendous effect, particularly in our businesses that have storefronts. So today is so important as we highlight Black businesses, but we highlight supporting Black businesses because the pandemic has been very, very, very harsh to African American businesses. When you think about that stat of 41%, think about your friends that are entrepreneurs. 4 out of 10 of them did not make it or are not going to make it out of this pandemic stage. Why did this happen? Well, we are not financially prepared for a pandemic. We did not have the emergency funds to survive the shutdown, particularly our storefronts. But most importantly, and something to really note, is that we were not the ones who benefited from the PPP and other programs designed to help businesses make it. Stats are that 95% of Black businesses did not get PPP funds or benefits. And again, these were designed to help businesses cope and survive during this pandemic state. And the thing that's so upsetting about that is that PPP for certain types of businesses, particularly those that were not storefronts, et cetera, that still benefited from it, it was a cash infusion. It was a wealth. It was an opportunity for those businesses to really grow. And unfortunately, 95% of our businesses did not receive that. So this is heartbreaking realities that we have to realize. But it's not surprising when you break down the numbers in the Black businesses' ability to access capital. Number one, Black people are 14% of the total population, but only 2.2% of the nation's businesses. So when you look at 14 versus 2%, it's easy to see the disparity and how disproportionate this is. Only 1% of Black business owners were able to obtain loans during their first founding year versus 17% of white entrepreneurs. Black entrepreneurs are denied bank loans twice as much as our white counterparts. So if you couple these stats and the lack of Black businesses to access capital with the pandemic and we have suffered, but there's tremendous light at the end of the tunnel. I certainly believe coming out of this pandemic, it is our time. I want to just kind of pause and just think about this concept of equity. And May 25th, 2020, think about May 25th, 2020. We all know what happened May 25th, 2020, with the death of George Floyd. I think created what could be a perfect storm for our communities. It was where the world was on shutdown and everyone was watching. And something happened that Black people were well aware of and had been outraged about for years, but it now came to the forefront and could not be ignored. And it's focused on the race conversation of equity. It focused the conversation on equity. If we reflect back on the civil rights movement, and I know that the Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority was instrumental in women's rights. I know AKAs were instrumental in the civil rights movement also too. And if we reflect back on that movement and how powerful it was in the 60s, the key focus there was equality. That was our focus. Our ability to go anywhere, our ability to sit anywhere, our ability to live anywhere. But it's important to remember that the Civil Rights Act of 1968 went before Congress several times, including 1963, and it did not pass. 1966, it did not pass. 1967, it did not pass. The final break was after Martin Luther King Jr.'s assassination. After a week of protests, upheaval, and burning across the country, Congress had to do something to stop the upheaval. So they passed the Civil Rights Act of 1968, the same act that had went before Congress 3 times before, but it passed 1 week after Martin Luther King's death. Like that moment in our history, George Floyd's death just could be that culminating event for a new civil rights movement, just like a series of events and efforts, like the MLK assassination. It may just be the final ingredient to the perfect storm that changes our conversation now to not just about equality, but it's time for racial equity. And I love this picture because it really shows the difference between equity and equality. And we are having an equity conversation. So the beauty of that is, if we're having an equity conversation, it's important that we position our businesses to take advantage of the time that we are in now. Every corporate organization is focused on their supplier diversity numbers. Every corporate entity is focused on how much business are they doing, how are they supporting the African-American community, how do we as entrepreneurs, how do we as African-Americans take advantage of this moment that we are in and get more equity out of our current economy. I want to move now to a couple of key points that I want to leave with our entrepreneurs and consumers today. My prayer is that overcoming the challenges of COVID has created challenges, but positioning us for this benefit in the opportunities that can come from COVID and the opportunities that can come from the conversation on equity, and talk a little bit about how do we position ourselves for entrepreneurial success. It's the question of the morning and why we are here. And out of all the things that we could be doing and talking about on a Saturday morning, I think that we're all blessed to be here having this wonderful conversation. So number one, a few thoughts that I always like to share with entrepreneurs. Chase excellence, not money. Chase excellence, not money, then money will chase you. If we are moving to a more equitable society and an equitable business world, opportunities will arise for Black businesses. And the work that we do at TAC, the Texas Association of African American Chambers, and at Greater Houston Black Chamber is to shake these trees and move opportunities to Black businesses. So when that happens and the opportunities will arise, when you are the best at what you do and prepared and ready for that opportunity, I believe that you will get it. So the key, in my opinion, is preparation and being ready and being the best. One speaker I heard once shared that you have to become a skillionaire before you can become a millionaire. Master your skills. Oprah Winfrey is one of my favorite entrepreneurs to study. Oprah Winfrey's skill was as a journalist, as that was her source that gave her notoriety. She then made great business decisions and investments to gain her wealth. Tyler Perry, his skill is his creativity, sourcing talent. No one can source talent as well as Tyler Perry. His writing was his skills, but his business skills and focused on ownership. He never went to Hollywood. He never used anyone else's studios. He always owned his own rights to his materials. Those are the things that made him millions. But the skill, his ability to write, his ability to source talent was the first step. And we cannot skip that first step as entrepreneurs. I encourage continuous education, certifications. We have to constantly perfect our craft. For me personally, COVID-19 gave me the opportunity to actually do this. I looked up and I realized that life every day, woke up, jumped out of bed, there was something always to do, somewhere always to be. And when I reflected back post-COVID and said, wow, I'm waking up now, and I grabbed my Bible first and spend that time in meditation. And I love today that you all have a meditation corner. I think that's just a brilliant idea. And spend that time in meditation before going to bed at night, taking time to read and to personally develop. COVID gave me that opportunity to slow down and be able to do that and get back centered and focus on that daily. And to perfect skills, take online classes and perfect my skill and perfect my craft. So I encourage all of us, as the world begins to open and these events go from virtual to in person, not to fill your plate back up so much where you are not enjoying some of the things that occurred during the actual slowdown, enjoying taking time and enjoying perfecting your skills and your craft. Tip number 2, we have to own something. We have to own it. You all know from my bio that she shared that I am in real estate. I'm a second generation real estate broker and developer. My father is a member of Alpha Phi Alpha. He pledged in 1978 and has been for 43 years. My husband is also a member of Alpha Phi Alpha. So these alpha men around me, we believe in owning something. And I want to encourage you all to really, really focus in on that. Think about this. Black people, it's a fact, are the best in sports. No other race produces better athletes, but we don't own the system that profits the most off of our talent, like the NBA or the NFL. We are the best singers, we're the best performers, we're the best dancers, but we don't own the radio stations, the record companies, the streaming platforms that profit off of our talent and skills. And that ownership is really where generational wealth is. So my advice for entrepreneurial success is owning something. Think about owning the building instead of renting your office space. Think about, how do I, instead of having to use another platform, how do I own that platform? How do I own it? Because to me, that gives us that opportunity for true generational wealth. Tip number 3 of the morning, credit. Cash is king, but credit is definitely queen. And because African Americans typically don't have the same amount of inheritance, we don't have the generational wealth, our parents
I
aren't
was
leaving
watching a
us.
Buy Black Expo thing on the
Excuse me?
computer.
I think there's some background noise. Okay, thank you. Our parents usually aren't leaving us millions of dollars to start our own companies. We have to be very intentional about credit, because the power of credit and the power that leverage gives us utilizing credit can help us close the wealth gap. It can help us run just as far, just as fast as our counterparts. And you can do so much more and run so much faster, again, when you're using leverage, but we have to get into position to obtain it. It's very hard to grow a business without financial resources. It's hard to hire good talent without the ability to consistently pay. And credit and leverage is a great tool for that. So I really want to harp on entrepreneurs to focus on your credit, protecting your credit, building business credit. A lot of times as Black entrepreneurs, I've seen it in the chamber for years, we don't ever build our business credit. We only build our personal credit, and then we have to hold all of our business assets on our personal credit. Build your personal credit, build your business credit, and now you have two sources of leverage that you can utilize to actually grow your business. So again, position ourselves for entrepreneurial success. Number one, chase excellence, not money. If we do that, the money will chase you. Two, we have to own it. Think about every opportunity you have, everything that you pay for, how can you own that? That is an opportunity for generational wealth. And number three, credit is king, cash is king, but credit is definitely queen. So think about credit, think about protecting credit, think about how do you leverage credit. Everybody still with me?
Yes, we have a question. Is there an organization that you can partner with people who want to start a business?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for that question. I appreciate that question so much. So the Greater Houston Black Chamber is here in Houston, www.ghbcc.com.
I'm putting it in the chat. Say it one more time.
ghbcc.com.
Okay.
Greater Houston Black Chamber of Commerce has all of the tools and resources. We have business readiness courses. We have financial literacy and credit courses. We have SOS, which is a programmatic program for our entrepreneurs that'll take them through getting their businesses certified to getting set up for procurement opportunities. So we have the resources. Thank you for that wonderful question. So as I wrap up, I want to just mention this model by Dr. Boyce Watkins, and it's focused on what we're talking about today, which is buying Black. And his model is contribute. C, contribute to the success of your community. Support Black institutions. O, ownership. Focus on owning, not renting. S, save and invest and being good stewards of our financing. And T, which I love, is targeting. Looking at opportunities for cooperative economics, being very intentional, even when it's inconvenient to support a Black business, make the effort to actually do it. Lastly, I just want to close with letting us know, and hopefully it's some inspiration. We all have heard about Tulsa, Oklahoma, and Greenwood. June 2021 marked a 100-year anniversary since the demise of what was called Black Wall Street. But the thing that I love about just knowing about Tulsa was that there was 600 plus businesses, 21 churches, 21 restaurants, 30 grocery stores, 2 movie theaters, 6 private airplanes. We had 6 private airplanes. We had hospitals, banks, post office, schools, libraries, law offices, our own bus and travel system. So I always remind people and Black entrepreneurs of this because we have the same genes, we have the same work ethic, we have the same power to build this again. I want to thank again the ladies of Alpha Kappa Alpha for having me. I want to open up and see if there's any questions before I wrap up.
Please type your questions in the chat and I'll be able to relay them to Courtney. If you have any questions, now is a great time. We're down to the last 12 or so minutes. So we do have some time for you to get some real world questions answered right now.
Real world questions. I love that.
Well, I have a question for you, Courtney, and I guess it's more personal. Someone says no question, but I absolutely love how much you stress the importance of Black empowerment and Black excellence. Oh, here's one. What are practical ways to build business credit?
Wonderful question. Wonderful question. So, practical ways to build business credit is first being very intentional about it. One of the key ways that you can start is by getting a company credit card. So when you have a bank account, of course, that's step one. But step two is work with that same bank and try to get a company credit card. And make sure that that credit card is set up with your EIN number set up in the name of your company. Strategically use it when you go to Office Depot every month to get your office supplies. That's part of your budget. Use your business credit card. Start to make purchases on there. If you have a copy machine and you pay a monthly bill on it, make sure that you're doing that copy contract in your business name, because that's a way to build business credit. If you have a FedEx account and every month you pay FedEx, put the FedEx account in your business name. So now you can have multiple things that you can track and be able to show a bank that, hey, I have consistently utilized business credit and I have consistently paid on time and been a good steward of that. So start by a company bank account and then move immediately to a company credit card. And that's a wonderful way to actually build it. And then couple that with anything that you have a contract for, copy machine, coffee machine, office lease. Utilize your business for that and not put that in your personal name. Wonderful question.
All right, we have question number 2. If I were going to start a small business, where do I start?
Wow, this is like, y'all just set me up to talk about the chamber. So as I mentioned, the Texas Association of African American Chambers, and that website is TAACC.org, TAC, Texas Association of African American Chambers of Commerce. We have 24 chambers across the country. So when you look at 24 chambers across the country, across the state, every city we have a chamber in. So no matter where you're listening in from across the state, we have resources for you. At chambers to me are really, really critical organizations, because it's where you can intentionally go and intentionally say, I want to own my business, I need help, and the chamber is designed and structured to actually help you. It's a wonderful place to go to say, hey, I need a network. I have a business, but I don't have any clients. And the chamber is designed and structured to be able to actually help you with that. And the chamber has a vast network of, there's CDBS, which is Small Business Development Councils, access to SBA, access to other nonprofit associations that have resources that can help you build a business plan, that can help you build business credit, just a plethora of resources. But to me, if I was starting a business, I would start it utilizing benefits of a Black chamber.
Excellent. One question for you. Do you have to be a realtor first before you can become a broker, or can you just go straight to being a broker?
No, you cannot go straight to being a broker. It used to be where you had to be a real estate licensee for at least 3 years. Now it is at least 3 years and I think 180 hours of additional education that you have to successfully finish before you can apply to be an actual real estate broker. But thank you for that question. I was wondering if I would get any real estate questions.
Here's one for you. There are some categories of businesses that are highly represented by Black owners, but how can we learn about categories that are not so densely represented?
I love this. Okay, so on Friday, the 29th, and please let me put the TAC website in the chat. On Friday, the 29th at 9 a.m., TAC is having our annual conference, and it is a virtual conference. And this conference we start off at 9 o'clock, and we have a gentleman by the name of William Cunningham. That is our first speaker. And William Cunningham is an economist that we bring in out of DC. And he talks specifically about, he does this presentation for us every year for our conference, but he talks specifically about what industries African Americans need to target. A lot of times we target businesses that have low entry costs. So we target businesses that we know other people in. But he does the data to be able to say, this is where the cutting edge is. One of them that he mentioned last year was really interesting was data science. And computers have changed every industry. There's so much data being created, but there's not enough businesses or people that are skilled enough to take this information that computers collect and analyze it. And if you look at the medical industry, how can you take all of the information, all of the studies, and be able to make change and make vaccines and make all of these things? So it's so many industries that technology has changed, but the idea of data science is a whole idea that is very much an industry that African Americans are not in, but it's the wave of the future. So he shared that. He also shares what industries are we overly populated. We are overpopulated in catering. We are overpopulated in home healthcare services. So he shares this presentation, and it's very, very interesting and something that should really, really be taken advantage of, because if you are trying to position your business, but the other thing is we need to know this information to position our children. A lot of times,
Right.
again, doctor, lawyer, wait a minute, time out. You may not be raising a doctor or lawyer, but your child may have specific aptitude in certain things. We need to know where the industries are going. So I really encourage anyone who has the time. It's a free conference. You can log on. We will tape it also too, but he does a wonderful 1-hour presentation on Texas and where our Texas market is actually moving to.
Oh, that's helpful.
Yes,
We
ma'am.
have another question. I think we may be able to take 2 more, and we will send you the others so we can
I
reply
have
back.
one video. I have one video that is
Okay.
2 minutes that I want to end with.
Oh, we can do that then,
Okay.
because they wanted tips for staying motivated as a Black entrepreneur. But you have just enough time to do your video, and everyone, we will get your questions answered and sent back and sent to you. I see there's 8 others, so we will definitely do that. Go ahead and show your video. Now you're gonna have to share that screen.
Okay. Let me see if I can make it happen. I want to do quick shout outs. I see Melba Mitchell. She is a member of AKA. She's one of our associates with my firm. So shout out to Melba. And one of my first clients and friends, Claudia Mercer, I see is here. She's a member of AKA also too. So shout outs to both of those ladies. Okay, can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, let's see if we can play the video.
Do it full screen. Go ahead and click that little corner.
Can you hear him?
Yeah. Oh, you didn't share the sound. You have to share the sound on your Zoom.
Are you able to actually hear the video?
No, if you would share the sound. When
Okay.
you go to the share screen again and click that little share sound button.
Okay. Okay, let me see. I'm gonna start over. Okay.
All right.
Okay. Now there's a share sound.
Uh-huh. Look at the bottom of all where you're sharing your screens. You'll see
Yes,
it.
ma'am. Okay, let me try one more time.
Uh-oh. We're down to the last 2.5 minutes.
Okay, here we go. Here we go. Okay, got it. Figured it out. Technology.
Okay, here's the deal.
We got it.
If you want to be successful, here's the thing you have to do. You have to jump. There is no way around it. You have to jump. Every successful person has jumped. You got to jump. You got to take a leap of faith. You got to dash off that cliff, and you got to jump out there as far as you can. Now, a lot of times you stand on the cliff of life, and you see other people soaring by, gliding down like a bird flying through the air. You know, they going over to the south of France. You see them on a boat somewhere. You see their family vacationing here, their family vacationing there. You see them dressing like this. You see them in New York. You see them in London. They flying by. You know why?
I think you have 2 videos on.
But the only way to get your parachute to open so you can soar, you got to jump. Now here's the problem. Here's the problem, my friends. When you jump, I can assure you one thing. You listening? I promise you this. Your parachute will not open right away. No. That's the fear part. I promise you your parachute will not open right away. You're gonna hit them sides in the rocks. You're gonna tear your back out on the cliff. You're gonna cut yourself. You're gonna get wounded. You're gonna get some tears and stuff like that. But eventually, parachute will open and you'll be soaring. But here's the other caveat. Let me teach you this right here. If you do not jump, I promise you one thing, your parachute will never open. So you're safe, but you'll never soar. You got to jump.
All right. I think it was double playing, so it's okay. If you could send the link for the conference on the 29th.
I certainly will send it. I will certainly send the link to the conference. I'll send the link to the video, but in closing, just know that as a Black business, it's important that you have to jump and take advantage of the opportunities that COVID brings us. It has been a horrible illness, a horrible time in our country, but there's light at the end of the tunnel. Thank you again for Alpha Kappa Alpha for having me. It has been a pleasure, and I will definitely post some powerful links in the chat. Thank you again. Have a wonderful, blessed day.
Thank you so much. We are going to go for our break. Please visit our vendors as well as our meditation room, and we'll start promptly at 10 with our breakout sessions. We have 3 dynamic speakers for you to choose from. Have a great day. All right.
Again, everyone, breakout sessions will be starting here shortly. Be sure to assign yourself to the desired room and drop in the chat if you need any assistance. Thank you. For those still aiming to move to a breakout room, depending on the device that you are on, you may not see it, but if you could drop in the chat the room that you are looking to go to, and we may be able to move you. So again, depending on your device, you may not see it. Please let us know which room you're aiming to move to.
Aisha, Erica, Brittany, if you need assistance moving to the breakout rooms, let me know and I can move you.
Okay, everyone, is everyone back in the main room?
Not yet. They're heading in.
Okay.
They're coming in slowly but surely. Look at your participants at the bottom of your screen.
Okay, looks like everyone should be back in.
Okay, let's stay tuned for our exciting drawing. Committee member Chrissy Foster, if you would please give the wheel of your first spin.
Absolutely. Congratulations to Beck and Bath. You are the first winner of our grant vendor drawing. Thank you for participating in our Black Expo event. Okay, we're ready for our second spin. Congratulations to Satori Nicole Cakes, LLC. You are the second vendor to receive our grant, $500 grant.
Woohoo! I want to clap. Come off mic, let's clap.
Our third winner
Wow.
is Hook Mark. Congratulations.
Fast, good stuff, good stuff.
And a bookmark.
And for our fourth spin, congratulations to Ty Jenkins Inspires. You will receive $500. Congratulations.
Yay!
And for our last and final spin, the winner is Prom Square Consultant. Congratulations to all of our winners. You will receive a $500 grant to invest into your business. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Congratulations, all of the businesses. That was exciting and always great to have an extra $500. Congratulations to all of our winners. Now we will have closing remarks by our amazing leaders, Erin Freeman, Vice President of Pi Omicron Omega, and Raquel Garrett, President of Pi Omicron Omega.
Good afternoon. I'll go ahead and get started. I'm not sure if Raquel is available to speak at this time. But how are you guys feeling? Was this not an awesome expo?
Really good.
All right. So again, good afternoon. I'm Erin Freeman, Chi Omicron Omega's Vice President and Program Chairman. And I want to thank each of our registered vendors, small and minority-owned businesses or entrepreneurs, and every member of the community for getting out of bed on a Saturday morning to buy Black and be inspired. Our chapter has been wanting to deliver this type of program for our business community for a few years now. So we refuse to let even a global pandemic stop us from making it happen this year. So thank goodness for technology. It is no secret that there is power in the Black dollar. So as an African-American community and allies of the African-American community, we have to focus on establishing an equitable environment to support and grow Black business and their economic impact. We can create Black Wall Street in neighborhoods across the country with the right effort. As mentioned earlier, we want all of our community's business owners to become skillionaires. So we hope that you gain knowledge and obtain the tools to allow you to elevate your businesses to the next level. And for those who aren't currently entrepreneurs or business owners, we hope that you've been inspired to further and more intentionally support Black businesses and begin your own personal journey to owning your own. Congratulations to those who were registered as a vendor for today and who won the $500 grant to pour back into your businesses. On behalf of myself and our chapter president, Raquel Garrett, huge thanks to all of our session presenters, Nicole Handy of Brayton Real Estate Group, Alexia McWinney of McWinney Law, John Austin of Austin Business Coaching, Kaya Macron, Omega's very own Dr. Jasmine Booker Arbuckle of Dr. Diagnosis, Philip Yates of Equilibrity, and Colleen Banks of Comprehensive Financial Design Group for paying it forward by sharing such critical information needed to succeed in business during a pandemic and how to sustain even after it. To Mrs. Courtney Johnson Rose, President of the Texas Association of African American Chambers, thank you for setting your red aside for the morning and donning pink and pearls to drop all of the money green gems you had this morning. We can't thank you enough and hope to partner with both you and the ladies of Delta Sigma Theta for future events. We wish you all continued success in all of your business endeavors. Last, but definitely not least, huge thanks to our Black Business Expo Chairman, Elaine Polidor, Co-Chairman, Shari Burton and Felicia Stiff, Expo Program Committee members. You see the full list listed here. We have Amy, Bridget, Jermisha, Kimberly. We had our Spiritual Oversight Committee, too many to name. It took a lot of hands to pull this off today. To our entire technology committee who worked on building the Expo site and navigating us through this day. And again, everyone who played a role in planning, organizing, and executing this amazing Expo. I can't thank you enough. It truly did take a lot to pull it together, and I appreciate you all for your dedication to making it excellent. I know I was long-winded, but it was important to me to make certain that we thank those that played a role in today. I thank you all again for joining us, and I'll hand it back over to our chairman to close us out.
All right, many thanks, and thank you, Erin. That was amazing. Your leadership has provided us this avenue to give back in our community in a major way. I really did appreciate all the hard work, including Felicia and Shari joined at the hip to make sure things were going, those late night texts, the calls, just to make sure everything was in order for what we needed for today. Can't thank everyone enough, and kudos to our amazing technology committee. Again, we can do nothing without you. So, and yes, happy birthday, Erin. We'll be celebrating a little later on. So I do appreciate everyone. Thank you for coming. We look forward to other Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Chi Omicron Omega events as the year goes on, and we'd like to see you again. Thank you again. Have a great day. Oh, and our site will remain open, so you can see the vendors if you would like. It will remain open for another 24 hours, so feel free to avail yourself of those discounts. Have a great day.
Thank you, guys. Have a good evening.
Thanks for everything, guys. Y'all take care, okay?
Thanks, Coach.
Anytime, anytime.